Hi everyone, sanibonani. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Uma ngabe uyaqala ukuba nathi namhlanje, please go ahead and subscribe. If ukuthi uyabuya ukuzobuka ama-videos ethu ungakhohlwa phela ukupressa u-like. Uma ukade ubuka i-video yethu, please noma ngawupressa manje nje vele i-video izoba mnandi nawe yazi. Awuthi futhi nginilinde ukuthi nipress. Before ngitshela ukuthi i-video yanamhlanje mayelana nani, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe and kule channel lena sifunda iy'ncwadi zethu ey'bhalwe ngolimi lwethu lwesiZulu, futhi siyazama ukuthi sifunde iy'ncwadi ey'bhalwe ababhali abasebancane abasakhula, just to encourage them ukuthi babhale some more stories, futhi si-encourage abantu abasebancane ukuthi bafunde iy'ncwadi lezi ey'bhalwe ngolimi lwethu. Namhlanje nje ngizokwenza a very short video la ngenza khona i-notes to the writer, ngoba i-notes to the writer siyenze after sikade sifunde i-story, just talking about ama-issues asuke evukile ngenkathi sifunde i-story. Mhlawumbe uma sinembuzo for a writer bese siyayibuza leyo mbuzo, uma ney'ncomo ey'thile bese siyamncoma futhi umbhali wethu. Sisakuyona le ncwadi le ebizwa ngokuthi elabhoboka ithumba, edidiyelwe uPhindile Dlamini, who's a lecturer e-UKZN. Le ncwadi le initially when I picked it up, it was stated ukuthi ibhalwe ama-students ase-UKZN, but recently I found out ukuthi some of those students abefunde DUT at the time that they wrote those stories. Some of them are still students and some of them might not be studying anymore, but at the time beyibhala iyitori, they were in abafundi base-DUT or abafundi base-UKZN. So angikakazi kahle ukuthi inamba yabafundi base-UKZN bangakanani and inamba yabafundi base-DUT bangakanani. I just know ukuthi akubona base-UKZN abafundi ababhale le ncwadi, so I want to give credit to all of the writers. So makukhona abanye bakwamanye ama-university and I found out and I will give credit to. So istory bese sigcine sisifundile sangayenzi notes to the writer kusona ilesi sithi Themba Lezithembiso ebhalwe nobukhosi Sithole. Masithole siyakuncoma ngempela ukuthi usibhalele istory esimnandi kangaka futhi esithinta isho ethinta nombani, isho yothando ithinta nombani, omdala omncane. For every generation there's always love stories and there's different kinds of love stories. Ingahluka indlela esibuka ngayo uthando, but uthando still uthando. So-ke siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi usibhalele nendaba emnandi kangaka. I think nje endabeni yakho I would have loved ukuthi eningi ngenkathi ama-characters ethu ukuthi ukuthatha isikhathi ukuthi ukunaba kancane ngawo. Nanendaba nje ngiye ngithanda ukuthi uma ngifunda indaba, mhlawumbe uma usibeka endaweni la isitori senzeka khona nje, ukuchaza ukuthi indawo enjani, uhlalaphi lo muntu, uhlala eflethini, uhlala endlini, ke simazi nje lo muntu ukuthi ukuze nje sibe naleyo imagination, iy'ngqondo zethu zisithathe zisibeke kuleyo ndawo. Kodwa-ke mhlawumbe phela isitayili sakho nawe lesi sokubhala. But-ke isho ngifuna ukukhuluma ngayo lana, which mainly was indaba ye-friendship between i-friendship or ngithi relationship between umuntu wesifazane nomuntu wesilisa, yobungani, ubungani involve uthando. I guess ku-wrong nanokusho ukuthi obunga-involve uthando, because ningaba abangani nithandane but not romantically. So ngiyastruggle-isha ukuthola ama-terms esiZulu okudefine le friendship le. NgesiNgisi bathi platonic relationship. Mangiya ngiyo-check-a ku-dictionary ukuthi what is a platonic relationship, bathi i-platonic relationship is a relationship between two people who might possibly be attracted to one another, but they are not romantically or sexually involved with each other. So in that definer, that platonic relationship is that these two people might possibly be attracted to one another. And I guess masithi platonic relationships esibuke just a relationship between a female and a male. But I think we've evolved a lot, because now we do have relationships between females and females. We do have relationships between males and males. So basically any friendship can be a platonic relationship, in my opinion, because you can also be attracted to, as a female, you can also be attracted to, you can possibly be attracted to your friend who's a female. You can also be attracted to your friend who is a male. But the thing about a platonic relationship is that they say there's a possibility of you being attracted to each other, but they don't say whether you are attracted to each other, but you are not involved romantically. Should you take a decision whether you're attracted or not, but you make a decision not to take that relationship, that route of being romantically involved with each other, or being sexually involved with each other. And there's nothing wrong with a platonic relationship, but there's also nothing wrong with a relationship, a friendship between a male and a female who decide that they want to do whatever that they want to do, because as long as people are adults and they are saying they're in their right mind when they make those decisions. Uh, Angazi ukuthi for me personally, how do I feel about friendships? Honestly, for guys out there, I'm going to speak from a perspective of a female. Akuve kumnandi to have a male friend that you just know is a friend. Um, Not to be naive and think ukuthi that person can never be attracted to you, but it's nice to just know what I just have a friend. And one day I can surprise and do something funny around me, or ask me for something funny or strange. This person is just my friend. There's nothing as precious as that. You don't find them a lot, but it's really great to have a male friend when you are a woman who is just your friend. But we know what we are all adults, and our feelings can be there for someone you who is your friend. But me, personally, um, it's a turn off for me when someone is my friend and then one day they come and they say, "Oh, now I really like you," whatever. Because I just feel like if you're going to pursue something other than a friendship, rather just come from the beginning and say, "Oh, you know what? I like you, and I would like to see you with Ene. Can we be romantically involved or whatever?" And then I can say, "You know what? No, Mina, I think we should just be friends." So from the beginning of the friendship, we are clear. Okay, we are continuing as friends, but I know you like me. So I know you have hopes ukuthi one day we're going to be more than friends. I like that. I like knowing ukuthi your intentions or your wishes is for us to be more than friends, but you are settling for us being friends because I do not want to get into something more than a friendship. I like that. But I really, really, really hate it when I think someone is just my friend. And then one day they're like, Mina, I really like you. It's like a for me, it usually it's the end of the friendship because it's like it becomes weird after that. So, but I do know what sometimes when you've been a friend with someone for a long time, feelings can change. And obviously, the person has a right to say, as long as it's respectful, to say, my friend, this is how I feel now. I don't know if we want to move forward and pursue something different than what we have right now, or should we stay as friends, but be clear. But also, okay, I think it's better and when feelings change, as early as possible, umuntu akutshele ukuthi, you know what, my feelings are changing. This is how I feel right now. Because I feel like money in a friendship, you all must know what kind of a friendship are you in. Kufanele kube khona who has information that the other person doesn't have. If your feelings have changed, I need to know as your friend that your feeling must change so that I know how to move kule friendship le yethu ukuthi ngimuva kanjani, because I know I need to be sensitive to certain things because I know ukuthi you have feelings for me as as a friend. Also, if your friend is in a relationship and your feelings change, I don't know how appropriate it is with any, you still remain friends. But I still feel like you always have to be open to your friends so they know that's how you feel. So that even in me talking about what's happening in my relationship, I'm sensitive to you as my friend, Pella, because I know your feelings for me have changed. Honestly, Mina, if I have a friend, and at some point my feeling as a female, Mina, I wouldn't say, and my feelings change. I would just keep quiet until um, uh, uh, if my feelings arc changes, because I hate changing my dynamics a friendship. I will not say it unless that person, of course, is single and I'm single too, and I feel like there is a possibility ukuthi they feel the same way. But if I am a friend with somebody, they are in a relationship, and I know there's no way that they could leave their relationship to be with me, I wouldn't see a need. I don't think that I would be brave enough to actually say, even though me, I expect to go to somebody when their feelings change for me. I prefer to know so that I know how to move in that friendship. So our relationships are interesting. There's so many things that we could discuss under relationships, under friendships, that could possibly change into relationships. So even in this story, we're talking about those Themba, Aphelele, who are friends, and I guess Aphelele was in that place where she has feelings, but she understands they're just platonic friends. So she was okay with that. She was okay with that because it doesn't say anywhere in a story where she wishes for something different. Only Uzathembe wishes for something different because he's the one who approaches Ilokuzani's situation. So I guess it was worth it for him to say because it turns out ukuthi nayo Aphelele feels the same way about Uzathembe. But how weird would it be now if Aphelele really didn't feel like uh, anything for Uzetem? Will they be able to continue being friends, assuming God to get what happens in the end of the story where he dies doesn't happen? Would they still be able to be friends that they were had he told the Woods and he has feelings for her, but best told Woods and Aphelele yena doesn't have those feelings? Would they still be able to be friends? It would have been interesting to see that. I hope one day we read a story of a platonic relationship, different from the one we read right now. And enye futhi issue-ke nje that I want to talk about is the issue of how unfair life is. This story, I was thinking about it nje this morning, thinking yazi ukuthi recently we are seeing a very sad love story playing out in public between uSisikhoni Ferguson with ubaba wakhe uShona Ferguson. That is such a typical um, it's a great love story, but then it ends in such a heartbreak. And not only is Usis Kony heartbroken, but as a nation, because people love love. We love seeing people love one another. We love seeing people because really for people to just be married and not at some point get a divorce and have kids together. Siyayithanda leyo nto because it's something positive in our society. So we see it Usis Kony going through a heartbreak of losing the love of her life. But not only her, I was watching. Izolo, I decided I wasn't not going to watch the funeral because I thought, you know what, funerals are so sad, and if I don't have to be at the funeral because Shona Ferguson, I don't know him personally, so I don't need to be at that funeral and be feeling sad and be crying now. You know, the family will do that. But in terms of any video which I wasn't aware with, it was a funeral, and then ngabona just that part where Connie Ferguson was, they were playing that tape of her, that speech, the send off for her husband, and I found myself crying because it really is a sad story when somebody loses their loved one. Imagine just relating that story to Story Sabo or Shona Ferguson, Beno Connie, because imagine she met somebody very early on in her life and she marries somebody that she thought was the love of her life and then it doesn't work out. I'm sure she had thoughts of, you know what, I'm never gonna meet somebody that I really love or whatever. But then at some point she had hopes when she met Ushona now, and she's like, "Oh, here is the person that I've been waiting for the life for my whole life. Finally, somebody to grow old with, somebody that has the same dreams as me, somebody that has the same aspirations as me. Finally, somebody to grow old with." And then they get married, and then she finds out it really is that person because they had been together for 20 years. I believe they've been married for 20 years. And now they are, at that age where they're looking forward to their old age. They have grandchildren and they're looking forward to their retirement together. The Ivory probably had plans, they had vacations that they had said this one will take when we are together, when we are when we've retired, we'll go on this vacation with our kids or whatever, and then the person dies. Like it's such a sad story because when we plan our lives, we all know people are gonna die. We all know we're gonna we together. There's two of you, but at some point one of us is gonna die because we know most of the time we don't die at the same time. But when we plan our lives, we don't plan. We plan for death in a sense that we take a funeral cover, and whatever, but we don't really plan for death because we don't know. We always plan things which we're going to be together. And for him to just die, it's like, oh God, like did he really have to to die? It is sad. It's a sad story. It's the same with the story that we've just read, where two people have just discovered one another. We say, yo, I've been looking for someone, and the person that you know is meant for me is right here next to me all of this time. And you finally be like, wow, I get to be myself around this person, and I get to express my feelings about this person, and then they die. It's like, it's sad, but it's a reality of life, because even yesterday I was when I was watching that send off Shona Ferguson. I wasn't crying for Shona Ferguson because I know him personally. I was crying because I was picturing myself in that same position where you have lost your partner, because at some point the person that you're with becomes like your twin. Like we go everywhere together, we do everything together. You get to a point where you feel you can't make a decision, even a decision that only has to do with you. You feel like you need to call this person, listen, this is what I need to do. Should I do this or not? So when that person leaves, it's like really a part of you is ripped apart. And to know with as a woman, you have to find a way in that darkness. You have to find a way to rise up and move on with life. Is Uaphelele going to be able to be open to meeting somebody one day and go on with her life? Is she going to she's going to be fine emotionally, having lost somebody that is so important to her. So it really is sad, and I'm looking forward to seeing even in real life now. I'm looking forward to seeing Mrs. Coney picking herself up, because I already know how strong she is. Because even looking at her at the funeral, I mean, I don't know if I would have been even able to sit like that at the funeral and listen to all of those speeches and everything that was going on at the funeral, the fact that she was still sitting there, and she was still able to hold her head up, and and so I'm looking forward to seeing her journey. And I think there's a lot of lessons that we're going to learn from her, uh, putting that one foot in front of the other, and being able to still raise her kids on her own, and maybe even one day finding somebody that she completes the next part of it. Like, I don't know. You never know with life. You never know with life. So, yeah, I guess in these stories, even in the story that we read, we just learned that life is unfair. And there's not a damn thing that we can do about it. I've had so many things that have happened in my life that I'm like, life is unfair. I was actually thinking about telling a story in my next video, but I'm just thinking about how I'm going to structure it. About my life, about how unfair life is. But at the end, you still standing. You get to the other side, and you still have to move on with life. So that's the lesson, guys. That life is unfair. Sometimes isn't don't look for explanations. Don't look for justification. Something's just happened and they're unfair, and that's it. You know what I mean? And you just have to find a way to pick yourself up and move on. And nobody's going to explain to you why you lost the person that you love, and why you have to move on alone. Nobody's going to be able to do that, but you have to do it. So in this story, we learn, which what life is unfair. And as much as these stories happen to other people, they can happen to us as well. Maybe one day it will happen to me. Maybe one day it will happen to you as well. So ulindele ukuthi i-unfairness yempilo goes around, so nakuwena izofika, but be willing to say ukuthi even after that event takes place that makes me feel like life is unfair, I will still move on with my life. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please continue to subscribe. I think let me just see. Is signing the Pelitori. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. We have 9 stories, but it's just available because we had 28 short stories to do, but we have 9 left, and then we look forward to the next book. There is a book that I found, but I couldn't find it anywhere in Gitole, bekhuluma ngayo online. And I contacted the writer to find out if I can get a hold of the book and talk about it here, and he hasn't replied, so I can't really say much about that book yet. So I'm hoping ukuthi uzongiphendula and say ukuthi he's okay with me discussing his book here, and then we can go on from there. Thank you so much for watching. Ngithanda kakhulu.